if you love a bit of misogyny, sexism, and the boys in blue, then perhaps this album is not for you.
I see snap.
By the way, I do kind of see the irony of me, a guy, giving this album a review, but you know, oh well. Who Let the Dogs Out is the debut album from Lambrini Girls, the English punk rock queercore, whatever you want to call it, band from Brighton, running about 29 minutes long, consisting of 11 tracks. The band featuring Phoebe Lunny and Lily Maciera. Either way, their music is unapologetically bold with their lyrics, with a blend of humour, politics and personal experiences. As it kind of usually is with punk, we see some cutting commentary, with some slight tongue-in-cheek edge coming from the group. Here in the UK, punk is very much alive and kicking. If you're into this type of stuff, you definitely have to check out 2000 Trees. Really, really, really great festival. Better than Download, I think. Is this album the most profound thing that's ever happened? No, but it's punk, right? Punk is often messy and quick. It's getting that protest of emotion and thought out there with little or no regard to what you think. And I think this album's pretty good. The topics they do cover in this album are quite important and prevalent to everyday life, and even more with what I can assume is being a woman. Obviously, I can't comment too much on that, but their lyrics paint a descriptive picture of, you know, sexism or misogynistic scenarios in common places. Tracks like Big Dick Energy, for example, or Nothing Tastes as Good as It Feels, paraphrasing the quote from Kate Moss, nothing tastes as good as skinny, or equally the track Company Culture, which talks about being harassed in the workplace for, you know, having a vagina, I guess, or even just taking credit for work that you've done. And that line, Michael, I don't want to suck you off on my lunch break, sounds a bit too specific to be fake. But all of this is set to some really good instrumentation here. Hi-hats do feel slightly forgotten behind everything else, but the snare and kick feel punchy at least. During the vocal breaks, everything gets really nice and heavy, sounding really vibrant and crunchy, especially with those toms and that guitar riff. Vocally, Lunny is sounding really good throughout the whole album. I love the idea that people think it's like a really bold accent, but you know, here it's just like kind of standard. But then you have the more broad political statements from the band in the opener, which opens angry with those distorted guitars and that pushy kick. The sentiment of ACAB is kind of pushed with those police sirens at the beginning, really nice touch, and these slowly melt away as the song pushes on. The drumming starts to speed up, sounding like drum and bass, which, you know, I always love. Then there are these moments which I really enjoy, where the music stops and Phoebe blurts out these like wild statements, and then you're just bombarded with a wall of distortion. Yeah, really cool. I like it. What I enjoyed about this track, and quite a few others over the album, are these snippets where things get a bit mixed up. Take the song I was just talking about, for example, where the drums are just completely switched up for like a rim shot percussion. The lyrics, again, I really like. Whilst they're not like the most profound thing ever, they do shed light on that sort of corrupt system of the police and the shit that they kind of get away with still. But following on to Big Dick Energy and No Homo, things start to dip a little in terms of music. Whilst it is really heavy, things start to sound the same, which isn't a big issue. Like, punk is often quite similar, I think. But the vocal melody on Big Dick Energy is really quite catchy, I have to admit. But it is quite a fun song, mocking that culture of BDE, getting praised for doing the bare minimum. Overall, it doesn't stand out as much, and similar with No Homo. I'm not sure I quite get the meaning of this song, like no homo to what? I kind of get the joke, and maybe it's appropriating like queer and gay culture a little bit, but I don't know, maybe I'm missing something there. Like, it doesn't seem like a huge thing. I don't know. I don't know. Moving through the album with Rich Nepo Baby, which I love, and a sentiment I often stand behind. And where I live, you see it all the time. Fred again. But aside from the clever lyrics, the drilling bass, you have this punchy percussion alongside this lovely brash guitar that sort of rolls through the background. Some other tracks I can get behind are the previously mentioned Nothing Tastes as Good as It Feels. It's brash and it's punk, the kind of thing you want to hear on a punk album. And the same can be said for the track Special Different and the stigma of having various conditions, which I do relate to. Coming to the last few tracks in the album now with Love Again, feeling kind of driven and hectic, loving the guitar melody that comes in around the 2-minute mark. It's distorted and detuned, and it really reminds me of the opening track from Silent Hill 2. Then Phoebe's spoken word on top has this nostalgic feel to them. It actually would have been nice to hear more of this kind of thing on the album, but then the song ends on this lovely wave of distortion and noise, which leaves us onto Cuntology, which is basically a list of things on how to be cunty according to the band. I'm not monetized, so I don't really give a fuck, so cunt. It's fun, it's brash, and I'm enjoying this like intruding bass that you hear throughout the track, making it sound more electronic, especially with that leading synth, even leading the album out with a countdown: 1, 2, 3, 4, C-U-N-T. I actually really enjoyed this album ender, and it's probably one of my favorites on the track. Yeah, a really good and fun song to end the album on. This is one of those bands that are reminding us that punk is still alive. While some tracks feel repetitive musically, the album's highlights kind of make up for that, with bold lyrics, kind of relentless energy, and you know, overall it's quite cathartic. Whether they're tackling sexism, toxic workplace culture, Nepo babies, Lambrini girls don't really hold back, and I like that. And that's what makes this album impactful. Yeah, sure, it's messy, it's brash, it's full of emotion, but that's kind of what punk should be. When did it become a gatekeeping culture? Look, it's not inventing the wheel here or anything. Who Let the Dogs Out is a memorable statement. Even the album's title is kind of like owning it. And you know, it's a bit of a middle finger to the system. I would easily give this album a 7.5 out of 10. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know below. Feel free to like, subscribe, comment, whatever you like, and hopefully I will see you on the next one. A goodbye.